Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Tadyuktamakhilam vastu vyavaharah tadanvitah tasmat sarvagatam brahma shire sarpirivakhile. Again read it for you. तद्युक्तमखिलं वस्तु व्यवहारः तदन्वितः तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्मा क्षीरे सर्पिः इवाखिले क्षीरे सर्पिरिवाखिले. Beautiful analogy Acharya is bringing. All the objects are pervaded by Brahman. I am seeing Lakshman. I am not seeing Lakshman. I am seeing only Brahman. I am seeing a rose plant. I am not seeing a rose plant. It is Chaitanya, Purna Chaitanya Rupa. It is Brahman. I went to the market, purchased something. Action is possible because of the Chaitanya or the Brahma. I went to the bank, deposited some money. That is possible because it is only Brahma. We are now speaking and having the class here. This is not possible by anything other than the Brahma. What an all-inclusive concept. All objects are pervaded by the Brahma. All actions are possible because of the Chaitanya or the Brahma. Therefore, Brahman permeates everything. There is nothing like you separately from the Brahman. How? Beautiful analogy. As butter permeates the milk. You take the milk. Is there milk in butter in that? Yeah, it is there. Show me where is butter. No, I can't see. Where is it in the milk? It's everywhere. Exactly. Beautiful analogy. Brahman permeates everything just as butter permeates the entire milk. Where is butter? It is everywhere. Where is Brahman? It is everywhere. Show me the butter. I can't show you separately now because it is part of the universe. So Brahman is everywhere. Then how to get that butter? You have to do a lot of sadhana, and then you have to do this sort of, churning of the, first of all, heat the milk and then do something, then put it for curds, and after it is fermented, then take it out, then churn it, then the butter comes, and the butter then becomes ghee. A lot of process is there. Like that, for you to understand that you are the Brahman, the world is the Brahman, Brahman permeates everything, you need to do a lot of effort to cognitively shift your focus from what is visible to what is invisible. Okay. Tad yuktam means that is pervaded by that. By what? By Brahman. What is pervaded? Akhilam. There is no exception. Akhilam, Sarvam are two words without any conditions applied. It is completely all. Vastu, object, vyavahara, actions. Tad anvitaha. Tad anvitaha. They are possible because of that Brahman only. Tasmat, therefore, sarvagatam, all pervading Brahma. Brahman is all pervading. Like what? Kshire, in the milk. Saptami vibhakti. Sarpihi. Sarpi is actually means ghee. There is no direct ghee in the milk. You have to understand the previous form of the ghee is butter and sarpi is ghee, and here ghee we take it as butter. He hasn't written Navanita. Navanita is butter, Venna. So that is not the word he has used. He used sarpi because sarpi is the karyam, and the karana of that is the butter. So you have to take it as butter only. Okay? Tadyuktam akhilam vastu. It is associated with every object possible. Am I associated? Yeah, you are. Why are you are not? You are also a part of the vastu. Yeah, is this goat is associated? Yeah, it is also associated with the Brahman. and vyavahara tadanvitaha. All the transactions what you are doing, either within yourself or outside or with people or with objects, all the transactions are tat, that Brahma, anvitaha, associated with that, possible because of that. Tasmat, with this reason, Brahma, the Chaitanya, the Parabrahma, Sarvagatam, all pervasive, like what? Eva, like Kshire, in the milk, Satpihi, like the butter or the ghee, Akhile, all over the Kshira, the butter is there. Okay. Shankaracharya says that all people, all vastu, all anubhavas, all transactions. Is there any exception for ajnanis? Ajnanis are not in Brahma. Who said that? Ajnanis are jnani. They are Brahma only. Only difference is ajnani has opened the eyes and understood he is Brahman. Jnani, the ajnani is still in the darkness and he doesn't understand he is the Brahman. That's the only difference. Like one person who is sleeping, the other person who is awake. Okay, Shankaracharya says that all people, jnanis, ajnanis, are all the time, every time, all the time, Brahman alone, and they are all the time, seeing Brahman alone, experiencing Brahman alone, handling Brahman alone, conducting transactions with the Brahman alone. Therefore, they are Brahman. They are experiencing Brahman. They are transacting with the Brahman. And then what is the difference between a jnani and ajnani? Ajnani doesn't know. Jnani knows that he is transacting with Brahman, everything is Brahman. Ajnani still thinks that I am Lakshman, I am Sarma, I am Chaitanya, I am Nagaratnam, like that. Ajnani thinks. Imagine when a person is handling a pot, suppose a person is carrying a pot on the shoulder. Okay, what is he carrying? You ask an ordinary person, he says that he is carrying a pot. But a person who understands the tattva or nature of the pot, he says, I am carrying mud. In Vyavahara, it is pot. In absolute sense, it is clay only. Where is that clay in the pot? It is all over the pot. The pot, in fact, the smell of the pot is clay, the weight of the pot is clay, and when the pot breaks, it becomes clay, and before it is broken also, before it is produced also, it is clay. During when it is pot, it is also clay. So the Brahman is before, during, and after you experience a subject, it is Brahman only. Just like a person carrying a pot on the shoulder. Okay. This person who is handling the pot, he is all the time handling clay only. But he is saying, I am handling a pot for the purpose of Vyavahara, transaction. Because in clay you cannot transact anything, you cannot put, dal, or you cannot put water. Whereas in a pot you can do that. That is the transactability, and the utility is there. That doesn't mean the innate nature of the pot is pot. There is nothing like a substance called pot. The substance is only the mud only. Okay. Now, supposing this person closes his eyes for realizing the clay. What did he say? Yeah, he realized. Yeah, I am holding clay. Do you think that he should close the eyes and go into samadhi to realize it is clay? Absolutely not required. That's why to realize that everything here in and through is Brahman, I don't require any samadhi. There is no nirvikalpa samadhi or savikalpa samadhi or special effort you require or a special state where only you can experience this uniqueness. That is not required. In and through, right now and here, as you are sitting here, you just cognitively understand the nama and rupa, the name and form, are just kalpanas, are only a word's sake, but the real essence is you yourself, the Atman. Similarly, whenever there is a world, what do you mean by world? World is, does it have independent existence? Does it have a separate satta? Does the pot have a separate existence other than the clay? Remove the clay and show me the pot. Take clay in this hand and pot in this hand, and without the clay you bring the pot. I can't bring. Show me the world without the Brahman. I cannot show the world. Whenever I see the world, Brahman is already part of it. Even when the world is disappearing in your cognition, that is also Brahman. Nama-rupa belong to the world. Nama-rupasya adhisthana-bhuta satta. What is Brahman? Nama-rupasya. For the Nama and Rupa, there is one adhisthana. That is the underlying Sarabhuta Satta, the uniqueness, the existence absolute. That is Brahman. It is nothing but Brahman alone. A verse from Dakshinamurti Stotram clearly points out this. Yasyaiva spuranam sadatmakamidam asatkalparthakam bhasate. Means yasyaiva spuranam. With that knowledge, sadatmakam. Everything is Sadrupa only, Brahman only. But why it is appearing as Lakshman, Sarma, Nagaratnam and Manisha or somebody? It is asatkalparthakam. As the unreal thing is manifesting, bhasate, avabhasate, appears superimposed. Brahman, which is the existence, awareness, absolute alone, pervades all the objects of the world, making them become evident, imparting them some reality. This reality of every person, object, experience, time, everything is borrowed reality. The original reality belongs to Brahman. We just borrowed the reality and then doing all this dance. Just like you borrow from the neighbor some car or jewel and post that as though it is yours. So my neighbor has got, let us say, has got a beautiful BMW car. I asked him, can I use it for half a day? Okay, you take it. Then I have taken it out. Somebody else, BMW, yeah, it is mine. I'm saying, is it mine? It is not mine. It is borrowed. Like that, you are sitting on the Brahman, being the Brahman, experiencing the Brahman, transacting with the Brahman, and whatever you are doing is Brahman, but you simply pose as though that you are doing on the borrowed existence. In every Namarupa, there is easiness. I say wall is, glass is, table is, laptop is, Lakshman is. What is that easiness? That easiness is Brahman. Table, glass, Lakshman are the names. Suppose I remove the names. What is remaining? The ease. Gold ring, gold necklace, gold chain, gold anklet. Remove the anklet, necklace, other names remove. What is remaining? Gold only is remaining. That is the easiness. I am, aham asmi. You are the Brahman. Therefore, the world has the sadamsha of the Brahman, that is the sat part of the Brahman, the easiness. What is the kalpita part or the coming and going part? The name and the form. Okay, the world appears as Satchidamsha, for every object is a part of Sat, is a manifestation of Sat and Chit. But why am I, the wall is not knowing that it is there or it is wet or it is tall? Why is the wall knowing? It has got Chidamsha, but it does not have the medium or the upadhi to reflect the Chidamsha. The Sadamsha and Chidamsha are there in everywhere. When you realize that you are the Satchit Rupa, then what is felt or experienced? In fact, we should not say experienced. What is remaining is Ananda. That is called Satchit Ananda. That is why he calls this as so and so Ananda. We'll say so and so Ananda, Sarmananda, Lakshmanananda, Ratnananda. All these names we can add to the Ananda, but remove the names. Ananda is only remaining. Satchidananda are the when you are Satchidananda, not in deep sleep, not when you go to Hyderabad, not when you are in Rishikesh, not when you take a dip in Ganges. You are always Satchidananda. Therefore, he says, Akhilam vastu tadyuktam. Every object is with that, or in fact, every object is that alone. Then where do I seek Brahman? No need. Anything you are encountering is Brahman only. Where do you go with something is available everywhere? Let us say that the air is everywhere or the space is everywhere. Where should I go to find out where is space? Absolutely not required. Tadyuktam means it is associated as if it is the adhishtanam of the substrate. Just as a pot is tadyuktam with clay. What is clay? Pot is tadyuktam with clay. It is associated with clay. Means what? It is clay only. There is pot and pot is only a name. Similarly, vyavahara tadanvitaha. All transactions are happening in the Brahman. What is space? Where you are keeping your laptop is space. Where you are standing or sitting is space. Where you are talking is space. Where you are driving is space. Where you are transacting is Brahman with the space analogy. Brahman even encompasses the space. That means you are in the Brahman, you are through the Brahman, you are by the Brahman, you are of the Brahman, you are for the Brahman, you are itself Brahman. Make anything, it is only the Brahman. So where is Brahman? The teaching after all that, you should not search for Brahman. By habit, we will say, Brahman is Brahman, where is Brahman? Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriday se Arjuna tishtati. They have told in the LKG A level, that is in Gita where we are reading, there is reading. We'll say there is Ishvara in everyone. Okay, true statement. But Ishvara is not only in everyone, it is not in. Don't say, I am having Atma. Don't say, as though I am having heart, I am having kidney, I am having eyes. You are not having Atma. You are Atma or Brahman itself. Thereafterwards, yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya drigdrishya viveka. Wherever the mind is going and picking up an object or a person or an experience or a time, that is all Brahman. He says for Jnani, wherever he goes, tasmat sarvagatam Brahma. This is a beautiful word from the Gita also has the same word, tasmat sarvagatam Brahma. That will be there. Now, the example part. The example part is very well understood. Kshire sarpihi va. The word sarpihi is ghee. By sandhi, sarpiriva. If you split the sandhi, sarpihi va. Sarpi means ghee. Just as his ghee is there in the milk. He has written. Means what? Butter is there in the milk. Where is the butter in the milk? Sarvagatam. Can you see it? No, I can't see at this stage. I have to do a lot of work, then I can see. So when can you see that? Not now. You mean to say it's not there now? No, it is very much there. So even though you do not perceive or see the butter, it is very much there. Similarly, here also, it is Brahman also is very much there, even though I am not able to perceive it directly. By proper operation, the churning, we can take the Kaivalya Navanitam, it is called. What Navanita is butter. What is Kaivalya Navanitam? Exclusive butter, pure butter. Then no water also we have squeezed out. Similarly, here also, if you do a proper churning of your buddhi, the sadhana, through recognition, Brahman can be revealed. How? Verse 42. Arani Mandhanam. Take the mind as the arani, and there will be a stick to churn it, and there will be Jnanagni will come. Here, this is the 42nd verse. Now, the question is, should these verses be taken as Brahma Swarupam or Jivan Mukta's vision? Is it the way the Jivan Mukta sees that, or is it the Swarupam of the Brahman? We can take in both ways. If it is this Brahman that Jivan Mukta merges into, or Jivan Mukta is aware that all the time, in and through, all time means the Kala, and then the in and through the space. the Vastu, everything, all of them, that Brahman alone is the easiness. So Jivan Mukta is aware that Akhilam Vastu Brahma Yuktam. That is the statement in the Acharya's verse. Akhilam Vastu Brahma Yuktam. You can say Jivan Mukta merges into such a Brahman, and that is how it is. Now, the axiom of universal perfection. So you have to understand the principle of omnipresence, universal perfection, 59th. Shankaracharya posits a rigorous ontological framework that redirects the seeker's attention from a distant, transcendent, inexperienciable deity outside, and probably you can get it only after a very many great sadhana. The underlying substrate of everything is Brahman. You don't have to seek, you don't have to go anywhere, and it is not an object to get it, and that is you are. And you see, whatever you see is Brahman. The strategic weight of this verse lies in its refusal to compartmentalize the sacred Brahman. What do you do when I say Tirupati Balaji, sir? Balaji Deva, you compartmentalize to him on that Tirupati town, on that particular hill, in that temple, in that sanctorium. You can compartment. Is it so? Brahman is Venkateswara only. Venkateswara is all pervasive. You don't have to compartmentalize him like that. That's what exactly he says. Central to this analysis is the assertion that worldly transactions are possible only in the Brahman. That is very important. Ye Brahma eva sarve vyavahara adhisthana. The paradigm of permeation. Here, Brahman permeates and then is spread in everything, like ghee and milk metaphor. This part you would have already understood, as though the ghee is everywhere in the milk. Which portion of the milk doesn't have ghee? Yeah, every part is ghee only. Can I see it? No, you cannot see without the sadhana. When we do the sadhana, you see it. Do you think the ghee is not there now? Who said it is always there? Only thing is I should realize that I can get it out of it. Okay, but ghee is a vastu, Brahman is not a vastu. That you have to remember. Ghee, somehow you can get it out and physically see. Brahman, you cannot do that physically and see it because that the seer you yourself are the Brahman. The importance of essence and appearance also we have to see. Satpihi is the essential reality where while the milk represents the manifest form. The essence is the pre-existing truth, which you are already Brahman. Substratum. The substratum, satta, existence, name and form, borrowed existence. The pure existence is called the satta, or the sat, or the uniki, or the easiness, and everything else has borrowed the existence, relative existence. Real existence is satyam, relative existence is world. When you see the world, experience the relativity, experience the differentiality, and don't get carried away with that. And then understand that under every experienceable object, thing, or person, the underlying substratum, the true reality is Brahman. Now, epistemological recognition. The divergence of the wise and the ignorant. The ignorant sees the nama and the rupa and the object as it is occurring, whereas the jnani sees the substratum or the essence of the nama and the rupa. That we have to cultivate. Ajnani experiences both the Sat and Chit Amsha, but remains oblivious to the source and focusing on the part rather than on the clay. The Ajnani is focusing, I am carrying pot. Jnani says, he is naming it pot, but I know it is clay. Like that, Jnani recognizes and embodies the full triad of Sadamsham, Chidamsham, and Ananda Amsham. Do you think that there are three parts in Brahman? There are no parts. It is one whole. The Sat, Chit, Ananda are the way of understanding the Brahman conceptually. But there is no Sadamsha separate, Chidamsha separate, or Ananda Amsha separate. So, a significant hurdle for the seeker is the force of habit that leads them to search for an object outside. If I ask you anything, where are the keys? You check in the pocket here and the table, ask your wife. You have the habit of searching as an object anything you want. But Brahman cannot be searched. You don't have to travel anywhere. Brahman is you yourself. So Brahman is not an object to be sought of. And go to Tirupati, they have darshan LKG stuff. That is for the neophyte. As an advanced seeker, you can see that same Balaji here and now itself in your mind, in yourself. Okay, yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever mind goes, you understand that you are seeing only Brahman. The churning part also is very well explained by the metaphor Sarpihiva. Let us read the verse once again, and a few persons can also read the verse. Maybe I will try to read it first for you. यदुक्तमखिलं वस्तु व्यवहाराः तदन्वितः तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्मा क्षीरे सर्पिरिव अखिले. Once again, along with me, you read. Yaduktam akhilam vastu. Okay, let's open for others. So can you open? Now you understood. Where do you go and market for Brahman? Go to Phoenix Mall or some other mall? Nowhere. You don't have to market because you are already Brahman. Every experience, every person, every object you encounter is nothing but Brahman. Then how big is that? But how it looks like, you have a doubt. Because it is not an object, you cannot give any physical description. That's what he says. Anan vastulamahasvam adirghamajamovyayam arupa gunavarnakyam tad brahmetyavatarayet. Tat Brahma iti avatarayet. Understand that to be the Brahman. Decisively, you know that it is the Brahman. What is that? Ananuho, astulam, ahrasvam, adirgham, ajam, avyayam, arupam, gunavarnakhyam na, arupam gunavarnakhyam, tat brahmetyavatārayet. Realize that you are the Brahman, which is neither anu, subtle, nor stula, very big and gross, neither hrasva, short, nor dirgha, long, neither ajam, that means neither birth, nor any change, avyayam, ajam, avyayam, arupam, without form, agunam, without qualities, without any color, without any akhyam, name. Akhyam is name. Realize that Brahman, Ananuhu, Astulam, Ahrasvam, Adirgham, Ajam, Avyayam, Arupa Gunavarnakhyam, Tad Brahmeti Avatarayet. Anu, very subtle. Ananu, not at all subtle. So then it must be very big. No. Astulam. Tula is grass. Astulam. It is not very gross and big either. Okay. Is it very short? Rasvam. It is not short. Adirgham. It is not long. Like a laundry list that you make or a marketing list. Ajam. Without birth. Avyayam. Without any mutation or change. Then arupa guna varna akhyam. Arupa, no form. Aguna, no gunas. Avarna, color, or varna is jati, varna, like that. Or akhyam, name. No name, form, attribute, color, any caste, creed, anything. Tad Brahma, that Brahma, iti, thus you are avatharayet, realize. Why he is giving some physical measurements and saying that it is not? See, there must be a logic, isn't it? If he says it is not subtle, it is not gross, it is not short, it is not very long, why are these physical attributes given? Means to negate that it is not an object. Again, Brahma Swarupam is being talked about, into which Brahman, the Jivan Mukta, will merge. Iti avadharayet. Realize that you are that Brahman. The meaning is simple. The essence of the sloka, Brahman is free of all attributes. What are the attributes normally? Supposing I ask you, Vijayalakshmi, he says, yeah, how big are you? I am 50 kilos old. How old are you? I am so many years old. How tall are you? This way. What color you have? This one. What particular jati you belong? Yeah. What particular gender you belong? She has got an answer. But here, Brahman does not have any of those. Ananu, astulam. Anu is microscopic, very small, and atom, and are small, subtler than the atom. Ananu, it is not small. Astulam, it's not very big either. Ahrasvam, not short. Adirgham, not long. Ajam, not that which is created. Not only birth. Anything created is birth only. A pot is created, it is birth. Isn't it? A table is prepared, it is a birth. A presentation is made, it is birth. A class is started, it is birth of the class. Birth always not coming from mother's womb only. Birth you must have a larger understanding. It doesn't have any one of these things. Adhyayam, no modifications, no changes, immutable. Brahman is devoid of these attributes. Ananuhu, Anuhu is small, Ananuhu not small, Brahma is not a small thing. Okay, right? Brahma is not a small thing. So it must be a very big thing. Immediately you think. Immediate next sentence is Astulam. It is not big either. Then what it is? Must be very short. No. It is Ahrasvam. Oh, it's not short. It must be very long, like the Bangalore traffic queues. No, it is not long either. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan, Mahanarayana Upanishad. Many Upanishads for that matter. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan only means don't try to go with a tape or a scale and start measuring the weight and height and the length and breadth of and the BMI of the Brahman, because Brahman does not have attributes. This is to convey the point. It is immeasurable, immutable, not an object, cannot be objectified. These descriptions only point to you that this Brahman cannot be objectified. Why? Brahman is the subject you yourself. It is said that Brahman is both small and big. Ananuhu, Ahrasvam, Adirgham, Astul. Which means it is neither, doesn't have any of these attributes. Now, Gita describes it as Sarva Vikara Nishetaha. What is Vikara? Vikara is not some nauseating sensation. Vikara is change, shape, name, attribute is Vikara. I have Vikara. Means I am this much tall, this much height, this much age, this much education. This is the place where I live. These are the Vikaras. Then Arupam, free from forms, or better meaning is colorless, aguna, nirgunam. Nirgunam, the avarnam, colorless, arupam, no form. Akhya means name, known name also. Tell me the name of your Brahman. Sorry, he doesn't have any Brahman, any name. Now, why do you call it as Brahman? Just to say that I have to say something, I used the word Brahman. Even that name also is not his name. Okay, what is his shape? He is like Venkateshwara, he is like Kashi Vishwanatha. Okay, keep it at the LKG level. That is the primary standard. You have grown. Don't confine himself to one particular shape and name or form or a place. He is not that. If you think he is confined there, you are utterly mistaken. Nedam yedidam upasate. Not the one you confine it to a place or a form. God or Brahman is not in a place or form. He is all pervasive, sarvagatam Brahma. Then the avarana. Avarana is the avarna. Varna is jati or color classification. Somebody is fair, somebody is little dark, Indians are brown, all these things. This is varna. The other meaning of varna is the Indian caste system, Kshatriya, Sudra, Brahmana, whatever you sometimes utter those words. I don't like to utter those words also. And that is you are not. Brahman is not. Because Brahman doesn't have any varna. No attributes whatsoever. Either the physical attributes or the chemical attributes or the societal divisions. It does not have. So Brahman is what? Chaturvarnyam Maya system. I am the projector of all the four varnas. System means what? He did not give birth from his womb. This is manifesting as four different caste folds. So only Brahman is only manifesting. The word system in their Chaturvarnya Maya system should not be understood. Brahman is there. He gave birth to four different castes. From there, their lineage is not like that. The varna did not take the meaning of color here because generally Sanskrit and especially in Vedanta, the word rupam also indicates color. Okay. What is it all? The central idea of all these descriptions. Only one idea. The idea is Brahman is not an object. Brahman is attributeless. Let us read that. Ananuhu astulam ahrasvam adirgham ajam, not even produced, avyayam, not which can be transformed into something else, arupam, agunam, avarnam, aakyam, arupa guna varnakyam. One phrase. Just I have to connect to the arupam, agunam, avarnam, na akyam, nakyam, no name. No rupa, no attribute, no color, no caste, no creed, no gender, no language, no desha, no kala, no name either. Tat Brahma. That is Brahma. What I have to do? Avadharayet. Realize that you are that. Avadharayet. Very important phrase. Avadharayet. Learn in your mind or write a notes that Brahma has got all the quantities and put it in the drawer. And somebody asks, who are you? I am Sarma, I am doctor, I am old, all these things. What is the use? That will be there in the book only in the drawer. You never even open what you have written. You have written several notes. These notes are not to use probably. That's why it's called note. None of us generally realize why we write the notes. Okay, you take the notes, but you keep reflecting on that. Whatever is learned, you must reflect on that. Okay? And now, very important thing is the architecture of negation. So, this Vedanta has got a very fundamentally, very special way of teaching. See, if something is not an object, how do you teach it? How do you make others understand if something is an object? If it is an object like mango, you can describe the color, size, taste, whatever it is, and mango can be understood. But Brahman is not an object. Then how do I describe it? How do I make others understand or make myself understand? By negative methods. This is called via negativa. Via negativa is a methodology used in Western culture also. This is called theology negativa. Okay, Dionysius, one philosopher, Western philosopher, he has used the theology called theologia negativa. Here also we say nya iti, na iti, neti, neti. That is via negativa. We are using the methodology called via negativa. This is not this way. You cannot think it is Brahman. You don't say this is not Brahman. Everything is Brahman only. Don't say Brahman is not the way you are thinking. It is not what you are saying. It is not small. It is not large. It is not tall. It is not short. It is not fat. It is not frail. It is not lady. It is not man. It is not a Brahmin. It is not a Kshatriya. It is not having the fair color or dark color. All attributes you are negating. That is why it is called via negativa. This is called neti neti prakriya, or Vedanta very well uses this method of understanding. Even Buddhists also, they have got a neti neti prakriya. They call it as apohavada. In Buddhism, theory of exclusion. You want to know the absolute thing, you exclude. This is not Brahman, this is not Brahman, this is not Brahman, not the object. This way it is not Brahman. If you confine it to this name form, it doesn't connote Brahman. This is called apohavada in Buddhism. And theologia negativa in the Western sciences. Now Adi Shankara and other saints in Upanishads, they have said naiti, naiti, neti, neti. Okay. Now, the spatial dimension. So there is a space dimension. There are 3 dimensions in which we all work. What are they? One is the space dimension. The other is the time dimension. The other is the Vastu dimension, the form dimension. Vastu, Nama, Rupa, form dimension. Ananuhu, Adirgham, Ahrasvam. These all are negating the space dimension. Anu is a small part of the space. And Stula is a bigger part of the space. Hrasva is a short spatial arrangement. Dirgha is a large spatial arrangement. So this says it is not Desha Parimita. Desha is space. Desha not India. Desha here is space. There is no spatial delimitation for the Brahman. Ananu, Stulam, Ahrasvam, all of them connote Brahman is, if you say a scale like this, Ananu, not small, at the same time not big, not short, not long, you are creating a paradox of scale. Nobody can use this scale. This paradoxical scale is intended to give a cognitive collapse of vritti vyapti. Why this paradoxical scale is given? You have to collapse the vritti vyapti. What is vritti vyapti? I want to have a thought and envelope my thought and say it is short, long, big, small, red, green. That vritti vyapti cannot work, because this paradoxical scale tells you the vritti vyapti cannot work in understanding Brahman. Brahman is not confined cannot be put in any phrase related to the spatial arrangement. The second thing is transcendence of time or causality. Okay, this is indicated by the words ajam and avyayam. I told you there are 3 attributes in which anything is measurable. 1, the place. 2, the time. 3, the name and form. For example, Chaitanya in our group is there. He is in this particular place. He is in this particular time. He is in this particular name and form. If he is in this particular time, can he be in another time now at the same time? No. Same time at 10:50 a.m. on this particular morning. He can be only here if at all in the class. He cannot be elsewhere in the office. So that in the same time, any object cannot be in 2 times. It can be only in 1 time. Likewise, it cannot be in 2 places. If I am in the office, I cannot be at home. If I am at home, I cannot be in the forest. So this place-wise, everything is conditioned. And Rupa, if I am in this name and form, I cannot be in another name and form in this janma. So every object is conditioned by Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna. Parichinna is limited, conditioned, can be described, understood, that particular place, particular time, particular person or object. But this Brahman transcends space, transcends time, transcends Nama and Rupa. This verse exactly is telling that. How do I know it transcends space? Astulam, Ananuhu, Hrasvam, Dirgham. That means it has already transcended the vritti vyapti of space. Second one, time. Mind goes, the vritti vyapti in time also. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, for 10 years before, all the time, mind can go. That also is not possible because Brahman is ajam, it is never born. That means it is anadi. It is ever there. Avyayam, there is no end. Anadi and ananta. Avyaya is ending. There is no end. Ajam, no beginning. No ending, no beginning. Means eternal. That means it already excluded by the time frame. It transcended the time frame. Ajam, avyayam. Simply don't translate ajam, not born, avyayam, immutable. Don't translate like that. Get the lakshyartha of those words. Ajam and avyayam mean that it transcends time. Time, in fact, is in the consciousness. Consciousness is not limited by the time. Whereas you and me, any object, any experience is limited by the time and place. Brahman is not. That is the inner meaning of that. Then he has also given the Vastu descriptions. Here he says Arupam, Agunam, Avarnam, Anakhyam, means what? Doesn't have a shape, doesn't have attributes, doesn't have any color or any varna or jati, etc., doesn't have a name. This negates all the vastu, as a vastu parichada. Desha kala vastu. Desha is negated by the spatial conditioning is not there by ananu, ahrasvam, adirgham, astulam, negate the space. Ajam, avyayam, negate the time. Arupa, aguna, avarna, anaksham, negate the form and name. Then what remains? If you have negated the space, transcended the space qualification, if you have transcended the time dimension, if you have transcended the name and form, then what must be remaining? The remaining must be only the absolute consciousness, which you are, that is the subject. Beautiful way of putting things. They appear like something they are describing superficially for the LKG student, for the neophyte, but in fact they are giving you a hint about a very profound way of understanding. What is the strategic halt? Redirecting the intellect. The linguistic deeds created these systemic negations are not philosophical failures. So somebody said Brahman is not this, Brahman is not that. This is all, neti means it is not a philosophical failure. These dead ends that we have created, it is not this, it is not that, we have created, they are deliberate strategic manipulations and maneuvers for you to intellectually conceptualize or comprehend Brahman. The intellect is habituated to see things in the relative field. Your mind and buddhi, intellect and mind always condition you to see objects only in the relative field. You cannot see in the absolute manner. Objects are categorized like idrik, this is like this, tadrik, it is like that, kidrik, like what? You ask other person. When somebody says, describes a new one, kidrik, how does it look? What way it looks? Idrik, this way, tadrik, that way, kidrik, what way? Brahman is anidrik, means it is neither idrik, nor tadrik, nor kadrik. It is only anidrik. Declaring Brahman, neither this nor that. This verse brings the outward momentum of your thought. This immediately removes you the necessity to move out in search of Brahman. Because if you go to the outside world, you say idrik, this is the form, tadrik, it will be that like that. Then if you don't know, you say kidrik, how it will be. So the moment outward, the bahya prapancha jnana, the vritti vyapti is possible only by understanding this way, that way, and questioning what way. Brahman is not idrik, not tadrik, not kidrik. It is anidrik, means it cannot come under any one of your outside way of understanding Brahman. Then what it should be? If everything is negated, they don't think there is shunya or emptiness. The subject remains. See, for example, in this room, you have removed everything. Everything. Table, chair, this one sucked out the vayu, and the lights are off, nothing, no bulb. Then what is still remaining? You are still there. You means not the physical body. Then cognitively you have removed your body, mind, everything. Then what is remaining? The consciousness is remaining. Then still you know you are there. That consciousness is you are. Then the intellect can no longer find an object to grasp. Go on searching like a blind man trying to catch Brahman as an object. Unfortunately, you cannot behold Brahman as an object outside. It undergoes a transformation. What happens? It stops external seeking and abides in the seeker. This is called the avrutta chakshuhu amrutatvam icchan in one part. That means turning inward and trying to understand the consciousness you are. This is the core of Advaitic project. The realization that thought is not an objective thing found in time and space as an object, but it's a very subject conducting the search. Wherever you go in search of Brahman, you cannot find. Why? The person searching is itself Brahman. That's what Hiranyakashipu did. He went and searched for Vishnu all over. He says, I have searched all the worlds, 14 worlds or 28 worlds, whatever he has got. I have searched in every place, every nook and corner, but I could not find Vishnu. Why? The one who is searching, he himself is the Brahman. That's why he could not search. The moment he knows that he is the Brahman, the search stops. Okay, conclusion. The superimposition of silence. Ultimately, the senior scholars like you, already you have graduated 59 verses. Today, this is the 60th verse. Once you have graduated after 58, 59 verses, you must recognize the limitation of all linguistic tools. I will use this particular word, this expression, this passage to understand Brahman. Sorry, you cannot do that. Including the word Brahman itself, because that is only for your understanding, we say. The source provides, this particular verse provides a challenging finality. Brahma api nama iti adhyasa eva. Even the word Brahman is a name and also a superimposition on that absoluteness, undescribable thing. Even the name Brahman is a superimposed adhyasa on the Brahman. Strictly speaking, this label Brahman is also a dependent reality, and the adhishtanam substrate is the Chaitanya, that is for the teaching, the pedagogy. While all these names are only for the pedagogy, for the teaching. While the name is a pointer, it does not turn the truth into that point. Distinction between name and the Brahma Swarupam is resolved only in silence. If you don't say anything about Brahman, that silence, that Chaturtha, after the three matras of Omkara, there is the Nishabda. That silence is Brahman. As Dakshinamurti Stotram declares, the highest truth is Mauna Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. That is the Mauna Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. The essential nature of Parabrahma is explained through silence only. Jivan Mukta utilizes these negations to dissolve the egocentric constructs and merge us into the attributeless, nameless, formless reality. Having exhausted the utility of the world, the seeker rests in the finality of the absolute, the peace absolute. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yeah.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.